with today's issues on the American Family Radio Network. Tim, Wesley, Ray's in Florida. We're in Mississippi, and in the studio with us today is our colleague Steve Paisley Jordan. Good morning, Brother Steve.
Good morning, everybody.
Donning a black shirt with all kind of fish on it.
Yeah,
right?
look at these fish. I was trying to say, are you a fisherman?
I do enjoy fishing. Those are going to be...
So there's a rainbow trout, a coho salmon, and I don't know what you call this guy.
They're real close to like...
That's a grouper.
A grouper.
I think. Yeah, Steve's got all kind of tasty fish on his shirt today.
This is my school shirt. Get it? Get it?
Oh, I got it. Yeah. I was 3 seconds behind Wesley.
For those watching,
Did you get that joke?
I did
Right?
not.
No.
That's slower.
So Steve does. Really, Steve does. He is for those watching on our Facebook or YouTube or our own streaming AFA. streaming.afa.net.
Stream.afa.net.
Stream.afa.net or YouTube or Facebook. Today's issues page. Steve has got his shirt on with the fish
And we
going on.
encourage all of you to comment, to log on and comment. I'll take all the comments, suggestions.
Steve's a popular guy. When people come by here to visit us from around the country, they want to see Steve Paisley Jordan.
That's happened before, yeah. I don't know why. They go home disappointed every time. That's a different story.
Well, you wear a Paisley shirt about 3 days a week, two days a week.
I try to keep up
the image.
Keep the image going, yeah.
The image. Hey, by the way, before we jump into whatever topic you have for us, Steve, I wanted to ask you guys just your thoughts. And Steve, I'll start with you. We haven't talked about this hardly at all, but a big national story right now is the mother of Savannah Guthrie, the NBC Today Show co-host.
Yeah.
It's been all over the news for the last, 4 or 5 days?
It's been, it's a week. It happened Saturday night. She got kidnapped, if it's kidnapping.
Yeah, her mom in Arizona went missing from her home.
Savannah Guthrie is an NBC host, so people know her. And they feel like they you feel like you invite them into your home through your TV. You kind of feel like you know them, so there's some sympathy there.
It's a Today Show, very, very well known show, has been forever. But Ray, have you been following this at all?
We have watched hours of the coverage.
I feel so bad. We all do. We feel so terrible for Savannah Guthrie and her siblings. They're on, they're getting no privacy hardly. Of course, I guess they're feeling like they have to be public somewhat to try to, if their mom is still alive, get them back from the kidnappers, if that's what happened.
You always have hope in those first few hours.
Right.
Now, how many days have passed, and there's been evidently no, quote, proof of life.
Right.
So, then the mind just says, you don't want to say out loud what you're thinking.
Yeah.
But...
And she was on medication, too.
She's 84 years old, Tim.
That's what everybody's wondering is, what would be the motive for someone to kidnap an 84-year-old woman?
Well, they got to figure that Savannah Guthrie's probably making some good money.
Oh, well, that's true. That's true. But has there been proof of...
No, but you don't ever give up on that kind of stuff.
Has there been proof that it was a legitimate ransom offer?
No, not to my knowledge.
Not offer, ransom demand.
Not to my knowledge. I have a story running today about this, and one of the things that I'm talking about is the fact that we have 3 or 4 24-hour news channels that they're doing their best, Ray, you probably can attest to this, try to fill all 24 hours with this story. There's just not that much news, so you keep hearing things over and over.
There's nothing new in the last few days.
Right, and then you keep hearing people's best guess at things and everything. And I might as well say this, as long as we're talking about it. The National Crime Information Database received over 300,000 reports annually. It gets 300,000 reports annually from missing persons under the age of 18.
Yeah,
wow.
But I want to know how many are in their 80s.
Right. Yeah.
Now, I'm not talking about people who go wandering off or get lost because they have dementia.
Right.
I'm talking about people that are kidnapped or abducted, especially out of their bed in their home.
Yeah.
I've never heard of that before.
mean, was this a robbery that went bad and turned into a kidnapping?
Right.
Was this intended to be a kidnapping and ransom situation? If so, where is
Right.
Nancy? Where is she now?
Right.
And I think with every passing hour, it gets
Yeah.
grimmer and grimmer. It must be awful,
Yeah, it is.
terrible for the
Only
family.
imagine.
I have not followed it as closely as some of y'all have, but it's just hard to imagine with all the resources that's put toward it at this point that they don't have any more answers than they do.
Well, I don't know. The cameras are missing. It's just so many unanswered questions. Usually, there's in a crime case like this, or a crime scene, or there's cameras somewhere
Yeah.
that caught somebody doing something, or driving close by, or a car in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
There's something, or there was a motive from somebody who maybe somebody had been in an argument with somebody. I
Sure.
don't know, but it just
That's what I'm saying. There's no.
the mystery,
Yeah.
complete mystery. All right, you were listening to today's issues. Steve, first story.
Well, did you guys have a good time watching the Super Bowl?
Well,
Kind of boring.
It was a little bit of a boring game.
As far as a football game goes, unless you're really into defense.
Well,
I like defense, but I like to see some touchdowns scored.
you want to know someone who probably didn't have as good a time as you might imagine? That would be winning quarterback Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold.
But he won the Super Bowl.
he
He's
won-
going to Disney World.
Yeah, but
I'm going to Disney World.
so we like to tease Ed about being from Massachusetts. Sometimes they call that state Taxachusetts because of its ridiculous taxes. California has its share of ridiculous taxes. One of them being that it taxes professional athletes for playing games in their state. Sam Darnold actually lost money playing in the Super Bowl.
You're kidding.
No, I'm not.
That's,
And I'm
that's
gonna
not right.
listen to
lost.
cut 10.
For winning the Super Bowl, the winning team, each player gets $178,000. In other words, the Super Bowl isn't a part of their salary. And because the game was played in California, and California has a jock tax, and they look at duty days. So each team spends 7 days in the state of California. So those are 7 duty days, and they pierce your regular salary at 3.5%. So he has to pay, when you take in account he got the $178,000 plus his overall salary, he has to pay the state of California for spending 7 days there $249,000. It ends up costing him $71,000 to go play in California.
That is Boomer Esiason.
So he gets taxed on his salary, even though seemed like to me the only fair way to do it would be to be taxed on the bonus that he won for winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah, no.
Is that?
That would make sense, but
That's what Boomer Esiason there is
So
saying. No,
he lost money by winning the Super Bowl, right?
he lost by playing in California.
Playing in California.
Now,
Yeah.
Boomer also points out that the Seahawks play twice a year in California home games. They play the Rams and they play the 49ers, which are both in their league, in their division. So they play there not only for the 7 days that he was in Santa Clara for the Super Bowl, but he spent another 2 days each probably in. And so it's just.
I got so many questions. I'll go with one. So does he? It sounds to me like that this would happen regardless of whether he played in the Super Bowl. It just so happens he got a bonus this time. Is it true though that he gets taxed every time he plays in California?
Yes, every professional athlete does.
Yeah, well, that's why. Sometimes it costs the California professional teams. I know the player, the superstar,
Shohei Ohtani. I know where you're going with this.
Ohtani.
Just taking point too. There are other people doing what he's doing. Go ahead though.
Yeah, he plays for the Los Angeles Dodgers. He's widely considered the top, if not one of the top two,
The GOAT.
three.
He might be the GOAT.
Yeah, in
For my generation.
At least for right now, for Major
Yeah.
League Baseball. And he's from Japan, plays for the Dodgers, and he is taking a lot less money.
Taking like 10% now, he's deferred 90%.
He's deferring it because he doesn't want to be taxed with California. Is that right?
That's right. He's deferred. He'll get his 90. The other 80 to 90% of his salary he'll get after he retires.
Right, because
Wow.
because he didn't want to pay, because it's a smart move, really.
Yeah.
Well, because listen, if California taxes were reasonable, like
He wouldn't
so
do
many
that.
other sites, like a lot of states, you wouldn't have to do that. But they just now they're having some kind of a deal where California, where they're going after the billionaires, trying to force them to pay like 5% or 3%. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's not that much, but the billionaires are revolting.
Yeah.
The revolt of the billionaires. They're moving. They're getting out because basically they're saying this is robbery.
Yeah.
You're just robbing us.
Sure.
And so.
So what I'm looking at here, and I'm looking now at Sam Darnold's
He's the-
loss,
yeah.
the quarterback for Seattle.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, while this may seem a little bit confusing, the bottom line is he lost $71,000 from playing in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that'll start you. You don't need to be playing the Super Bowl anymore.
Yeah, quit that.
Actually, I think it's because it was in the state of California.
Sure, yeah,
I think every
Yeah.
state taxes, but California probably is
Yeah, but
onerous in it.
Now he is I don't know if he's a resident of California, but he did grow up in Southern California.
Sure, yeah.
But it would seem to me if his residency is in the state of Washington, which by the way their taxes are probably not much better.
Yeah.
They're all that left coast out there is.
And we're not saying he's unusual. I mean, Steve, all the players lost money,
That's right.
Because
Is that real? Are y'all kidding me on this?
No,
Is this true?
that's true.
Now I think the biggest comparison here is because, and the reason this is as much of a story than it would be any other game, is the fact that he got a bonus for winning or playing the Super Bowl. The bonus he got, the point that they're making is once you take out a tax of that, then that's where you get the $71,000 loss.
Yeah. Hey, let me ask you guys, whiplash topic
Yeah.
whiplash right here. Is ICE going to survive as an agency, or are they going to have to shut down? The Department of Homeland Security, they're about to be unfunded, am I right?
Well, that's the battle going on right now. There's a government shutdown pending over this, and they are having hearings. They want to. Democrats want to defund and completely abolish ICE. I don't think they'd have to replace it with something. I mean, you have to have law enforcement.
I don't think the Democrats would.
They-
I don't think the majority of Democrats care whether we have any borders or enforcement of anything. I don't think they care.
That's true, but they're not in charge.
There are laws though on the books, and I think
Right.
you would have to be able to. I think constitutionally, you have to have ability to
Well-
prosecute your laws.
Yeah, to execute the law, prosecute and execute the laws. Well, I just, well, we have sanctuary states, sanctuary cities. They don't care about those laws. So I just don't think that.
Yeah, I'm sure ICE will make it.
I'm not trying to indict all Democrats, but I think the vast majority of Democrats, they don't want borders. So I mean, we're on stolen land, and they don't want borders. They don't want anybody enforcing immigration laws because they don't believe in the immigration laws. So and ICE is under siege. They've been involved in 2 deaths in Minnesota. They got a lot of publicity, and a lot of people, hold ICE accountable for those deaths. Those are still under investigation. But I'm just saying that they're under. Even Trump's backing off, saying they need a softer approach.
That's what he said. Oh, by the way,
So they're under siege. I'm talking about ICE is.
since you mentioned it, we should probably do this. We haven't done this in a long time. I want to acknowledge that we are doing this talk show on the ancestral homeland of some rednecks.
No, we had to remind the people that the
But, Frank Turk at the beginning of our show had a good point. He said, how can anything be stolen land unless you had borders?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's, of course, nobody's ever accused people on the left of being intellectually consistent.
No.
Sure.
But that's what they, a lot of them, we're on stolen land, but yet they don't want to give theirs back.
No.
And I don't see anybody going back to their homeland. Nobody's going back to Europe or Africa or anywhere
Well,
else.
Rosie did for a bit.
Yes,
but
she
she
did
came
for a
back.
little while, and
Ellen.
Ellen DeGeneres for a few
Yeah.
months. But then the British, it was too cold and wet, I think, so she decided Trump's okay if I can go back to sunny California.
That's right.
So anyway, it's just the whole thing's ridiculous. It's everything they do is to target the white people of European descent. That's really the only thing that they care about. How can we diss white people?
Yeah.
It seems to be their target. Even from the white liberals.
Not a racist.
White guilt. It's just like every day, all day, and it's like, stop it already, right?
Sure.
Right.
Okay, if you're gonna be a singer at the Grammys and say we're all on stolen land, right?
Right.
And then you live in a gated community with a multi-million-dollar mansion in California.
Yeah, we're not going to pay any attention to what you have to say.
You're not giving your land back
No.
to the Indians who lived there many years ago, and we know who they are because they came forward. Their tribe leader did. And I've said this before, for the people who go, well, we're on stolen land, talking about here in North America, okay? Of course, they don't ever talk about anything else in the world.
Or any other country.
Any other country, it's always the United States, and the Europeans came over here and stole the land from the Indians, okay? Well, first of all, guess who stole that land from the Indians in the first place?
Other Indians?
The other
Indians. Good guess.
The other Indians.
Got that school shirt
Yeah.
on.
So the Indians who were here, Native Americans, did not live in peace and tranquility amongst each other. They warred over what? Land. Always, and did for as long as they were here. So when the Europeans came over here, it was nothing different. It was just they said we're in too.
And Europeans were just a little bit better at it because they'd been doing it in Europe.
Right. So the whole thing is.
And there was a lot of the lands that were purchased. They were bought.
Absolutely. Yeah, they were bought. They were bought from the Native Americans who were in that region, in that area. Were Native Americans mistreated in history? Yes, they were. But as I say, nothing's clean and pretty in history when you're talking about war and
Right.
land and battles and land grabs and this people do this to this people and then those people retaliate.
History's a messy thing, Tim.
That's the
Very
history of the world.
That's right.
That's the history of the world right there. You go back and read the wars that went on between the Europeans. Just brutal, barbaric. Same thing in Africa and same thing in Asia. I mean, it's just been that way since man was able to get a weapon and start attacking. And land has been the major reason for wars over time.
Yeah.
Probably the number one reason
I would
for
think.
wars.
Acts
All right.
chapter 17:26
Yeah.
says he made from one man every nation of mankind to live on all the face of the earth, having determined their appointed times and the boundaries of each nation.
Boundaries, Wesley.
Yeah, so we
You for a boundary?
wouldn't want to quote the Bible there.
Wow.
On a serious note, I wrote an 800-word article on this. It's on the stand. That's where I used that.
On what, you wrote it on what?
The boundaries and nations and how God cares about
Okay,
it.
where can people read that?
On the stand, afa.net. I'll send it
Put it
over.
on our Today's Issues Facebook page.
I think Brent will do that for us. I'm getting the head nod. Yeah, Brent's going to do that for us. God still cares about each nation.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead,
Next
Steve.
story, Steve.
All right, there is a potentially landmark case that's winding its way through the California court systems.
I like the way you now changing the word land.
Yes,
So you're talking about land, and now you've changed it
to landmark
a landmark case.
That's
Where
right.
Where is this?
in California.
Oh yeah.
And Meta and Google are in court, and they are being accused of intentionally making their social media apps addictive. And so, you remember the tobacco lawsuits back in the 80s and 70s? The tobacco, nicotine is found to be addictive, and well, God made nicotine addictive. They're saying that the people who programmed and wrote the code for YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, made them addictive on purpose.
Yeah.
And I want to play, this is cut from Dan Schneider, who is with the Media Research Center. I talked to him yesterday. This is a story running on AFN Today, cut 8.
This first bellwether case, the allegation is that these social media companies intentionally designed the product to entice and addict young people to it. So it's intentional harm. I have seen how these tech platforms have specifically hired psychiatrists, psychologists, neuroscientists, and so the allegation is that these people have been hired specifically to figure out how to hook kids and adults on the platform. Some of the accusations relate to how casinos will have machines that have the beeps and the buzzers and the bells, you know, like a reward system, a gaming system that the human mind turns into an irresistible effort, you know, to keep the focus. Conservatives in particular have been shouting at these big tech platforms about all the things that they've been doing wrong to harm us, and they've ignored us. They're going to get what they deserve.
The addiction has led to depression, anxiety, suicidal thoughts, actual suicides, eating disorders, substance disorders, sextortion.
Yeah, but can't you just turn it off?
Well, it's addictive. That's the thing. You can, but
I don't see how that's a crime, though.
I don't either. That's the whole idea. Listen,
I think it's a problem. I think it's incentive.
Yes, it is.
I think it's a
screen time, and especially for children, can be addictive.
You got to limit it.
Yeah, you got to limit it, and I do believe that those companies
do it on purpose.
But
I do.
But television used to want every company wants your attention all the time if you'll give it to them, so they can sell more ads for more dollars. I mean, that's just.
Well, they're being
the way it works
with being subversive about it.
Okay.
So yeah.
Well, we'll see where that goes. But you know, who amongst us hadn't had the internet? And you start searching something, and then an hour later you're going, "What am I?
Where did my hour go?
Where did my hour go? What did I start looking for?"
Yeah, that's right.
You know, here I am.
Started here, and I'm over
now
here.
I'm reading about the life of Kevin Bacon. You know,
Bacon.
I started out trying to read about how to cook, best way to cook bacon, and here I am on the life of Kevin Bacon. So it's anyway. I do think that a lot of these social media websites and are by nature addictive.